Hello and welcome to Olsem Wanem. In this episode, we feature the Papua New Guinea Fire Service. We all know that fire can be dangerous as it can cause damage to property as well as affect people's lives. We now take a look at some fire incidents in Lae that have hit the news in the past few months.
If Lae's fire service had responded quickly, they could have saved a big portion of this home.
Fire started long 7:30 in the morning.
The residents say it took the firemen almost an hour to respond to the emergency call, and by the time the firemen arrived, they couldn't do much. The owner of the home says, with the help of his neighbors, they got only the belongings that they could lay their hands on. The fire destroyed the rest. Lae residents have been highly critical of the fire service response, and there are also growing concerns in Lae that those fire episodes aren't the last.
By the time firefighters were alerted, the house was already destroyed. They sprayed what remained of a blaze that had lasted for about an hour. At least one family, a truck driver, his wife and children, escaped serious injury and death, but lost nearly everything.
It happened in the early hours of the morning, just before dawn. Eyewitnesses say around 4 a.m. the top part of the dorm caught on fire. Male students panicked and evacuated their rooms, leaving all their belongings that have been burnt to ashes. According to witnesses, firefighters arrived at the scene hours late and they couldn't do much to save the building. Last month, Lae's fire service recommissioned a new truck, but eyewitnesses here say they were very slow in responding to their fire alerts. Lae's Chamber of Commerce President Alan McClay had raised concerns about the Lae fire service capabilities last month when the truck was recommissioned.
Lae really needs not only more trucks but more equipment and other fire stations.
On that morning 10 months ago, Apelis Mapua had just dropped off his wife and was heading to work when he received a call from neighbors telling him that the unit in which his family was living was on fire. By the time the fire truck came, the flat was already engulfed in flames. Luckily, his family had already escaped. This is the last of the set of units that survived the fire. Members of the community helped direct firefighters to save it.
But expectation from people, time when neighbors only ring him all. They were not on time.
This is the third fire that has destroyed buildings belonging to companies in Lae in a space of 31 days. This fire has again put Lae's fire service in the spotlight.
I mean, the fire trucks are doing what they're able and capable of doing. So we can't scream at them. We can only thank them for being here, for what they're doing so far.
Theo Pelgins is an owner and also operates Pelgins. He was at the site during the fire. The building, managed by Tavern Real Estate's a company owned by the family as well.
As long as we can contain the fire and stop it from going and affecting anybody else, like we have customers, clients next door, we protect them. We've got Western Star the other side, protecting them. So we'll see what we can do. Stop the spread anyway.
With increasing fire issues in Lae, the question is, are we prepared for fire incidents? Lae City has had quite a number of fire incidents over the past few months. Governor for Morobe Province, Kelly Naru, has raised serious concerns about this issue earlier this month following the fire incidents.
Morobe Governor Kelly Naru called on the national government to allocate some of the 437.4 million kina put to Lae as an industrial hub into improving the fire service.
I want to encourage the national government and the authorities concerned with the fire service agency to actually prioritize in a way that they can give priority to the fire service department here in Lae.
Issues relating to manpower, equipment and fire stations inefficiency are all too common all across the country. Over the years, lack of funding from the government has also been an issue. Sadly, our firefighters are left to face all these challenges.
Welcome back to Olsem Wanem. As we feature the Papua New Guinea Fire Service, recently firefighters here in Port Moresby have been undergoing training in modern firefighting techniques. We also take a look at stories from Papua New Guinean women who have committed themselves to rescuing lives and property in this male-dominated field.
Firefighters here in Baroko are undergoing training in modern firefighting techniques. These training will enable them to tackle various situations in firefighting.
Teaching firefighters in modern firefighting techniques is something that fire service will have to take on board, and that's what's happening now.
Recently, yes, we go through training outside the compartment fire behavior. When there's building on fire, building that's built some compartments. So you go inside, you buy look. Basically, you buy look how fire spread. So there's two types of way fires are spread. One is fuel control, meaning the more combustible materials have inside the building, and by fire by spread area. Another plan, ventilation control. Like if you got plenty openings where air flow freely inside, and one cause blow, causing fires are spread, Arab spread. You don't have problem or nothing. And this line, like it's not in the line of the training people go to learn. If you problem or nothing, one place something you wasting water. If you don't have enough water supply there, you wasting water now. So you control him. You throw water, you control it.
People think that we only do firefighting, but our job is also to rescue. We provide rescue for road accidents.
This drill it's a demo of how we remove the casualty out of the vehicle. First, they did assess the situation first. They start stabilizing the vehicle by putting the chokes in all four angles. To stabilize the vehicle first, it's safer for the workmen to work around first, and also for the victim as well to minimize more injuries. The main injuries that we're concerned in is the spinal injury. That's when one of our crew has to support the neck and the head part. And we mainly concentrated on how to remove the victim without causing more injuries on that person.
Firefighters are not only responsible for putting out fires, but also carry out various types of rescues within accident and emergency scenarios. Over the years, firefighting was a male-dominated job. However, we now have female firefighters who are willing to protect lives and property of those who are caught in fire incidents, as well as in rescue.
It's very interesting, and at the same time it's very challenging. And it's quite tough because it's a man's job. But to work my way up to be at a man's level, I have to put a lot of effort into it so that I can prove that I can do what men can do.
PNG Fire Service is a training college. It's based at Geru, Stage 6. To become a firefighter, every firefighter here around Papua New Guinea came to that college. The minimum training period is 3 months. And during that 3 months, we go through basic firefighting. And during rope and rescue, search and rescue, we really like that job. We give our heart to save our country and our job.
any other organization, the Papua New Guinea Fire Service has its challenges. But the good news is it is working towards improving and expanding its services. There are also plans underway to review the Fire Service Act of 1962. We now take a look at some of its challenges in terms of equipment and service expansion.
Lay's growth can be seen in new investments that are happening in the city. But over the last 10 years, industrial growth has outpaced the ability of the Papua New Guinea Fire Service to adequately handle fire emergencies. Today, a senior fire service officer who asked not to be identified said the emergency service lacks the capacity to handle large fires if they happen on tall buildings. He said one of the basic equipment that Lay doesn't have is a snorkel, a piece of equipment that looks something like this. It's designed to give firefighters the advantage of height during a fire emergency and to also keep them at a safe distance.
Yes, we do have 2 snorkels that they were donated by Japan, more than 10 years ago, and they are now currently not in service. Yes, they're old enough to not to be used anymore. But we have plans to look at getting an aerial platform, which is another truck that can go up to a height. And we have discussions with a company in New Zealand. Not that we're gonna acquire from them, but discussions are now underway so that we will look at getting one for the city here in city, and perhaps looking at Lay at a later time. Starting last year, we had a procurement plan that we are now procuring equipment and sending them out to the stations so that our firefighters can be properly equipped and respond to an emergency.
According to Chief Fire Officer Isaac Silas, plans are also underway to extend its services as it is only present in 10 other provinces outside Port Moresby.
The fire service is present in about 10 other provinces outside of the National Capital District. And yes, places like Chimbu don't have a presence. We don't have a presence in that province. We have plans to expand our services into the provinces that don't currently have our presence, and we would have to do that as part of a risk profiling. We need to develop a risk profile for each province and then work out how we're going to develop our capabilities or the stations, establish our stations in those respective provinces.
Apart from the firefighter training, firefighter equipment and extension of fire services in Papua New Guinea, the Fire Service is also reviewing its Fire Service Act of 1962.
We operate under the Fire Service Act of 1962. We still operate under that, and it has some fairly strong powers in it, but at the same time it is out of date, and we are working with the Minister's Office to see how we can review, or we're in the process of reviewing it so that we can update it to meet the current and emerging needs of our country. So we have circulated comments, the drafting instructions for comments and input, and we would be finalizing it so that the Minister can take it to Cabinet very shortly.
Funding is also vital for any organization to run smoothly.
The government has got priorities, and I think it depends very much on the priorities of government. But we need support to do the things that we have to do. I think that would be what I can say in relation to that.
Many people in Papua New Guinea do not have basic fire awareness. It is important to know that fire situations and basic fire awareness is a shared responsibility between the public and the Papua New Guinea Fire Service. And so it is very important that we have basic fire awareness to protect ourselves as well as our property.
I don't think people in PNG have basic fire awareness because very few people know the fire service emergency number, that is 110. And many fires that are attended by PNG Fire Service are caused by issues that could have been prevented with basic fire safety awareness. For example, candles being placed near curtains or combustible materials. PNG Fire Service is now expanding its focus from response-based to a large number of proactive community safety projects.
It is important to know that basic fire awareness is a shared responsibility between you and the Papua New Guinea Fire Service. When basic fire awareness is not taken seriously, this may lead to serious damage to property and affect people's lives. As for businesses, it may be a great loss. Whichever way, one can be affected one way or another.
We are looking at assisting the community to be safe and must be aware of fire safety issues.
It is important to take heed of things such as putting out burning candles, putting away matches and gas lighters where children cannot reach, and being cautious when cooking with fire or using appliances that may have a possibility of inflicting fire.
Plant house and fire finish na. Dis lakan usante no drills na Wanem kam gimme musem. Mito thank you na. Musem butla ba mi serem no community lo mina. Disla. Samdal nupla samim tu mi lady inside lo.
In case of any fire situations, it is best to contact the nearest fire service as soon as possible. This will give firefighters a lot of time to attend to you before the situation gets even worse. In case of a fire emergency, you can call the fire service on 110. Bear in mind that it is against the law to raise false alarms to this emergency hotline, and there are serious penalties to those who are caught. It can lead to an imprisonment for up to 3 months. Having basic fire awareness enables you to know what you should do to prevent fire and what you should do when in a fire emergency.
And that brings us to the end of this edition. Thank you to the Papua New Guinea Fire Service and everyone who participated in this edition. And make sure to keep you and your family and your property safe from the fire together with the Papua New Guinea Fire Service. If you have any comments or suggestions you'd like to share, please contact us via the address on your screen or visit us on our Facebook page. Join us same time next week as we feature 1 billion Rising for Justice. For now, enjoy the rest of your viewing on your #1 station, MTV.